So we're going to go over the 10 reasons why people don't succeed in this business and in sales in general, okay? So I don't know about you guys, but I would be taking notes because a lot of you obviously are not in a position where you want to be. So these are going to literally be the 10 reasons. I stayed up last night going over all these. This isn't something I chat GPT'd. This is straight from my mentors in the business, straight from Sean Mike. This is straight from my experiences in the business, recruiting a lot of people, losing a lot of people, people not making it, why I've seen people not make it, why I've seen people make it. So this is literally custom designed by me. It's not like I just typed some shit in ChatGPT, okay? So not in a particular order on these, okay? But the first one is poor listening skills, okay? So that could literally, that's a pretty broad topic, but poor listening skills is one of the main reasons why people learn very, very slow, okay? Not making mistakes is a good thing, okay? But learning from your mistakes, right? So your poor listening skill starts from your first day into the business. That means as soon as you get into the boot camp, right? So if we give you guys the boot camp, right, which has a ton of stuff in it, a lot of resources, a lot of trainings, and then you're asking the same questions that have been answered multiple times in the boot camp, sure, your upline, your manager will answer your question, but if you go asking the same question again, we're not going to want to help you, okay? That goes for literally anyone in here. If you're asking the same questions over and over and over, you're going to start to get smart-ass comments, especially from me. I will literally just tell you, well, it looks like you're not fucking listening, go to the boot camp, right? But if you're listening and you're managing your time very well, then you should be coachable and listen to the people above you, listen to the boot camp. Especially in your first 90 days, there's so much you guys have to learn, which I understand can be overwhelming. But if you choose not to listen, it's going to be hard for people to want to help you, okay? I'm not saying you can't ask questions, but don't ask the same questions over and over and over, okay? Especially when you're talking to your upline, your manager, they have a lot of people to deal with, they have a lot going on. You don't want to bombard them with a bunch of the same questions, all right? So, and that goes for veterans in the business and rookies in the business, okay? I know I was just talking about people that are new in the business, but there's people in here who have been with High Caliber or Syndicate or anything for a year, 2 years, 3 years, don't have an agency yet, are still selling 25, 30K a month when they should be selling 40, 50, 60. It's because your ego gets the best of you and you think you can stop listening because you've been in the business long enough. When realistically, you're nowhere where you should be, and you should be nowhere where you want to be, right? You shouldn't be satisfied with where you're at, right? So that goes for literally anyone in the business, no matter how long you've been here. Drop your ego, listen to the people that are above you. Super, super important. Okay. Number 2 is poor time management. This is massive, especially in this business, because I broke it down last night, and this is literally what I did last night. Is I have a lot of notes on this topic for today, but poor time management. I broke it down. This is basically how I work most of the time, and I'm not perfect, right? I let some excuses and stuff creep in sometimes. It happens. But this is literally what I did my first 3 years in the business, okay? Even now, I'm getting back to it, but poor time management. There's 24 hours a day, okay? Let's say you sleep probably what is recommended, which is 8 hours. You should be probably sleeping 6, okay? But let's just say bare minimum, you're starting to convert your time from what you're doing now, which is probably lackluster effort, to moving into being an intent individual. So let's say your time management, you have 24 hours a day, okay? Let's say you sleep 8 hours, okay? So now there's 16 hours of your day left, okay? That's a lot of time. You should be working 12 hours of those 16 hours, okay? The other 4 hours is you getting up early. You have 2 hours in the morning to set up your day, okay? Which is more than enough time. That's you going to the gym. Let's say you go to the gym for an hour, okay? With this business, if you go to the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours, you must be twiddling your thumbs or something. Get in, get your lift, get your shit, get done. Okay? Get it over with within an hour, okay? Then the other hours, you setting up your day. Get your breakfast, get your mind right, blah, 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 right? All that should be done by 7 a.m. at the latest, Okay, then your hour of just you time is from 7 to 8, and you're on the phones by 8. Okay, not 8:30, not 8:15, 8 a.m. minimum. Okay, then you're gonna work until 7, 8 p.m. Right? This is a virtual business. There's literally no excuse why you're not working 12 hours. So literally, there's none. Right? The whole 1 hour for lunch is bullshit. Like everyone in the office, you eat lunch in 20 minutes and you're back on the phone. It's like no one's taking an hour lunch. Okay, it's just, that's stupid. Okay, then you have 2 hours in the evening. Okay, from let's just say 8 to 10 o'clock. 8. Let's say you work until 8. Okay, well then you're 8 to 10, 9 to 11, somewhere in there where you're having your other time, setting up your next day, personal development, whatever you want to do. Right? That is a solid schedule that you can stick to for years. Okay, there's people who sleep 6 hours. Right, and I'm using the example, Israel, what time do you go to bed?
Like 10, 11.
Okay, what time do you wake up?
At 3:30.
Okay, that is a 4.5 hour sleep schedule. 4.5 to 5.5 hour sleep schedule. Right? Israel, what time do you start dialing?
7, 8.
7 to 8. Okay. He's allowing himself to have more personal time throughout in the morning, right? Which is totally fine because he's setting up the rest of his day. Israel, you work super hard, so that schedule is perfect because I know you're working until 7, 8, right? And then you're going to bed at 10 or 11. Like, you're allowing more hours of your day for personal growth, right? Instead of waking up at 6 or 5, like I wake up at 5. Right, to go to the gym by 5:30. I get home by about 6:30, and then I make my family breakfast before they get up. I have Delilah, and I'm on Zoom by 8. Right, so for you, it's like, dude, there's no excuse. Right, every single person in here is literally in your. If you're not 20, you're probably younger. There's some 18, 19-year-olds in here, but you're in your mid to low 20s. You don't need to sleep no fucking 8 hours, dude. You don't. Like, let's be real. You don't need 8 hours. You don't. You need 5 or 6, and you'll be fine, right? Like, you can sacrifice some sleep in your 20s. It's not going to hurt you, right? It literally won't hurt you at all, okay? So use your 20s to set up your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Those are the most crucial 10 years of your life, okay? So poor time management, when you're working, those 12 hours need to be 12 hours of you working. It's not 6 hours of you working, 2 hours of you just twiddling your thumbs. Like, you should be doing something, right? If you're in a manager role, it's like, okay, you should be, let's say you need to sell 1 or 2 policies a day, and then you're working on your business, whether it's setting up systems, whether it's trying to get to the next level of your business. If you're brand new, it's like, okay, I'm going to be dialing, this is my dialing schedule. In between that, I'm going to be personal development. I'm going to be listening to other people talk. I'm going to be sitting by a talk producer. I'm going to be listening, like, whatever it is, like, you have to set up your daily schedule, okay? If you have shit time management, you're going to have a shit schedule and you're going to have a shit business. It's like, it's super simple, okay? Number 3. So 1 was poor listening skills, 2 is poor time management. Number 3 is lack of sales process and strategy. It kind of does go with the first 2, because if you're not doing the first 2, you're never going to put enough time and effort into actually learning the process and the strategy of selling, right? So my little notes under the title is learning your script, learning the e-apps, the basic e-apps, which there's no excuse not to, because there's literally videos that show you how to do it. And Amerigo has a demo app. Couldn't be any easier. Number 3 is the process of your script. Okay, there's learning your script. You read it word for word. Let's be honest, you can read your script word for word and still sound horrible on the phones. Okay, but until you understand the process of a script, it's like, okay, here's my intro. My intro is the same no matter what I'm dialing, right? I don't need a script because my script's going to be the same. My intro, if I'm running vets, if I'm running mortgage, if I'm running FEX, if I'm running whatever, the intro is always going to be the same, okay? Then after that, it's literally just fact finding. Why did they fill this out? What am I looking at doing? Do they have coverage already? I'm figuring out all the facts, right? My next point is the third point, which is financial inventory. This is the body of your presentation. This is you finding out budget, all their information, health, all that stuff, right? Once you learn that, then it's just now you're into quoting an application. you don't need your script anymore because all you're doing is building rapport with your client and filling out an application. Once you understand like the 4 to 5 pillars of a presentation, everything is going to start to click. You're going to sell more. You're going to be more confident on the phones. But if you are glued to a script, it's going to be really, really hard for you to like get confident in your presentation, because if you mess up, you're going to resort back to your script every time. Like, if you're never going to force yourself to get better, you're going to resort to mediocrity, which is looking at a script. If I'm dialing and I have the script next to me and I'm going to try not to read it, and I get into a rough point, instead of forcing myself to figure it out, sure, you might mess up a few presentations, but instead of learning, you're only going to mess up a presentation once, maybe twice, I promise. And then you're going to not want to mess up again, and you're going to force yourself to get better. But if you have the script next to you and you resort to it every time you feel uncomfortable on the phones, you're going to think it's okay to just resort to it every single time, and you're never going to force yourself to get uncomfortable. You're never going to force yourself to get better. Okay. Number 4, which is very, very important, is lack of confidence and self-belief. Super, super important. Okay. So the notes I have under the title is whatever you want to call it. Own your shit, thug it out, fake it till you make it, whatever you want to call it. Just call it and stick by it. Fake it till you make it. Wake up in the morning, fucking think you piss excellent, think your shit doesn't stink. Like, whatever you have to do to make yourself feel confident in the morning, give yourself words of affirmation, whatever you have to do. It's like, if you don't feel confident before you get on the phones, like, oh man, if I get these, I'm nervous to get these objections today. God damn it, you're going to get them, and then you're going to fuck up, and you're not going to be able to handle it, right? Instead of like, I can get on the phone today, these guys can say whatever the hell they want to me, and I'm going to be ready, right? That's how you have to attack your day. It's like, no matter what happens today, I'm going to be able to handle it. Whatever objection, it's like, this is what I'm going to say every single time, no matter what, right? Versus a person that gets on the phone, is nervous. As soon as they get told no, they're going to sit and twiddle their thumb for 5 to 10 minutes because they need to regroup. Dude, just focus on the business, be confident, have self-belief that you can do this, or it won't work. I promise you. Okay? Belief and confidence just comes within. No one can give it to you. No one can teach that. It is something you have to develop in yourself. Whether it takes a few months for you to learn it, takes a year for you to learn it, or you feel like you have it natural, great, but you have to fake it till you make it. If you're like, I'm just an unconfident person, I don't believe in myself, no one else is going to believe in you either. Okay? Super important. 5 is having realistic versus unrealistic expectations of the business. Okay? This isn't goals. This isn't like setting yourself up with like short-term goals and all that. What I mean is, like, you come into the business as a brand new person. Everybody, like, everything you see on social media is just going to really make it hard for you to have a correct expectation of how business actually works, right? You see on TikTok and Instagram all these people like selling a bunch. There's a lot of fake, there's a lot of actors in the entrepreneur space and the sales space on TikTok and stuff, and it's just going to brainwash you. The correct expectation to have is the expectation that growing a business, most businesses are not profitable or fail in the first 2 years. Okay? So what that means is if you quit before 2 years, you're like 99% of the people who are now in the grave who wish that they would have given themselves more of a chance when they're alive, right? There's a saying, I can't remember what it is, but it's like some of the best ideas and some of the best, I think it is like some of the best ideas that would have came out are now in the grave, right? All the best, most creative ideas are in the graveyard, right? Because it's a bunch of people who never took risk when they were young enough to take a risk to actually grow something, right? Don't be that person. Okay, there's people who quit this business after like 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. Like, dude, I tell you guys all the time again, this business does not start to get easier until you've been here for a full year. It doesn't. Okay? So whatever you have to do to stay in it, if your why is strong enough, which we'll get into that, but if your reason to do this is strong enough, nothing will stop you. Literally nothing. Okay? So having realistic, even unrealistic expectations, right? Sometimes that's okay. If you set an unrealistic expectation, like, hey, a year from now I want to have X amount in my bank, right? Let's say a year from now I want to have 15 grand in my bank, right? Which is not a ton, but like that's a solid start for a lot of people depending on where you come from. That would be a realistic goal. Let's say 10, 15 grand in your bank after a year. But if you're like 3 months in and you're like, I gotta have 10 grand in my bank, right? Can it happen? Sure. But the likelihood of that happening is very, very unrealistic, right? Because if you're sitting here comparing yourself to me, Jalon, Jonathan, like Jay, like the people who are on the leaderboards all the time, you're going to have false hope in yourself. You're going to lack self-belief, and you're comparing yourself to people where you want to be one day, but you have to have the realistic expectations that like, hey, they've been here for 2 years. I've been here for 4 years, right? So like, you're not going to get there in 6 months, right? Can you? Sure, it happens all the time. But 90% of the time, that's not true, right? There's a lot of people I call in right now and be like, how hard was it in the beginning? How hard is it now today? You've been here for 4, 5, 6 months, right? It's going to be hard. I never started profiting in this business until my month 8. I never was like turning a profit until month 8. Okay, just put that in perspective. Okay. Number 6, failing to build relationships. These are all so important. I'm going to say this every time, but it's like I've been saying it the top 5. I'm like, oh, this is important, right? They're all important. Number 6 is fail to build relationships. My notes under this is your network is your net worth. And number 2, well, I'll hit on that one first. Your network is your net worth. Okay. If your network, so like your relationships in business, are only this circle, you are absolutely shooting yourself in both feet. Okay? If the only people you talk to is the people on this Zoom, you are shooting yourself in the foot. On those Thursday calls with diligence, there's hundreds of people on there. There's always someone new. You guys should be outreaching to other new agents who are crushing it. You should be reaching out to, when FFL posts the leaderboards, the top 20 people on there, you should be DMing them. Like, I've done this since day one, right? And I have insane relationships that have saved me in business because I've built relationships with people, right? With carrier reps. I have literally all of like the main carrier reps on my phone. If I text them, they know who I am. If something happens to one of my carriers or I need to get something pushed through, I can literally call the rep and get shit pushed through, right? If I need to have someone come into our business to do a Zoom call for the team, if I had no network, I would have no one to show you guys other, I guess, outlooks on the business, right? Derek, Nina, Hayden, Jay, fucking all these people, right? Start with diligence. Start with all the people in diligence who are crushing it, right? Get comfortable reaching out to people. Kyle Yee has a ton of people on his team crushing it. Elliot Tomlinson came out of nowhere. His team's doing $700,000-800,000 a month now. All of a sudden, in the last 6 months, I think he's grown like 100x. Fucking send him a message. Like, there's so many people, but if you're keeping your circle very, very small and very tight, you're never going to outgrow it, okay? So if you're brand new and you see other brand new people in the business who are crushing it, you should be DMing them. It's very easy to find their first and last name and find them. You know, everyone in the insurance business has an Instagram. By their first and last name, you will find them. You will DM them. Hey, I'm new in the business. I'm 4 months. This is how much I've sold. What did you do in your first 6 months to like separate yourself from being average? Right? Like, there's literally anything you can say. Everyone in this business, most people in this business want to help you. Okay? All right, number 7. Not investing early enough and often enough. Very important. I'm not saying you need to invest thousands of dollars when you're brand new before you have your skill set there, right? When I say investing, a lot of people think just money. This goes back to time management. This goes back to time. Like, yes, money is a very, very crucial part of this business, investing in yourself, because this is a lead-based business. If you think you're going to start crushing it without spending any money on leads, you're not going to do it consistently, okay? But investing time, investing effort, investing in personal development, investing like your time where you could be watching Netflix, your favorite show, you could be watching YouTube, you're driving and you're not listening to podcasts, or you're not listening, like all of that stuff is investing in often enough and early enough, okay? People wait months and months to start recruiting people. You guys should start immediately, get them on these calls, get them tied in with your upline who can train them for you. Like, there's so much you guys can do. Now, a big part is investing in your lead flow, right? So your lead flow is literally going to be your cash flow in this business, but you got to take it in increments, okay? Your first week, you come in, let's just say you're on free leads your first month, okay? Let's say you sell 1 or 2 policies, or you don't, you just get in a few presentations, you're learning. The whole first month is literally learning. Okay, your second, third month, you should start to be investing in leads, whether it's 200, 500, 600, whatever it is. You have to start with something and get comfortable spending, right? Then you have to slowly ramp it based on your skill set. If you come into this business with more money, you're going to learn a lot faster, you're going to make mistakes a lot faster, and you're going to learn from them, okay? The worst thing you can do is be here for a while, spend a bunch of money on leads, 800, 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, but then not put in the, oh, it says my connection's unstable. Can you guys hear me still? Yeah? Cutting out. Okay, hold on.
It looks better now.
Okay, hold on. It's good now? I'm right? All right.
Yeah, you're
So like,
yeah, you're good, man.
when you're investing in leads, it's like, yeah, you can buy as many leads as you possibly can, but if you're not working the leads and you're not, your process and stuff isn't down, it's like, okay, you're going to be spending a bunch of money on leads, but not closing shit. That's not great either. We talk about spending money on leads and all this stuff all the time, so I get you can get caught up in like, I just need to buy more leads. That's part of it, but if you can't close it, if you can't handle the basic strategy and the basic process of your script, which is number 3 on this list, lack of sales process and strategy, if you don't have that down to at least getting A to B, if you can't even close down a laydown or someone who gives you some basic objections, dude, it's not going to work, right? And then you're going to blame it on the leads, and you're going to be your biggest liar to yourself. It's like the biggest person that's ever going to lie to you in your life is going to be yourself, right? The person who's going to give you the most excuses is going to be yourself. The person you're going to negotiate with all the time the most is yourself, literally. So if you're sitting there like, oh, the leads suck. There was a guy in the office all the time, or not all the time, but like last week he was talking about the leads and this. Dude, everybody closes on every type of lead and crushes it on any type of lead, right? There's literally multiple examples of people writing 30, 40K a month on Silvers. There's multiple people who crush it on those. Kyle Easton runs those friggin' 50-cent Google ad. Like, those leads, yeah, they're not great, but dude, if you work them hard enough, efficiently enough, and you can crush it on them. Like, it doesn't matter what you're running, right? It all comes down to you, all right? Not investing early enough and often enough. That was number 7. Okay. Number 8. 3 more. Keeping your fire and strong enough why. This is pretty important once you've been in the business for a while. Okay. At the beginning, you should have freaking all the fire in the world. You should be pissing fucking vinegar. You should be like head and heels about this business, right? You should be able to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day. If you've worked 8 or 10 hours a day for someone else or another business, you should be able to come in and work 10 or 12, 14 hours a day. Okay, because now you're working for yourself, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the people who have been here for a year, 8 months, year and a half, 2 years, and you're nowhere where you should be or nowhere where you want to be, but then you let off the gas, right? Because it's like, oh, I've been here for X amount of time, and like, I've done this and this, I've recruited these guys, they've left. Oh, like the one leads I learned how to run, I never learned how to run anything else, is not working. Like, going back to what I said last time, it's like the person's gonna negotiate with, you're gonna negotiate with the most is yourself, right? Everyone's done this where it's like, oh, I'll start Monday. Well, Monday rolls around, you didn't fucking get up, you didn't do, oh, shoot, I'll start next Monday, right? And then you're like, well, I have a week until next Monday, so let me eat a bunch of garbage, let me not get better, let me do all this, because I'm going to start next week, right? And then that week rolls around, and you still don't fucking do it. It's the same thing with this, right? It's like, you have to have a strong enough why where every single month and every 6 months you reevaluate what you did, and you're going to be like, man, like, I put in half the effort I should have been, and I'm still pretty much at the same point I was 6 months ago. That's a huge issue. right? Now, as long as you decide you're going to get better and actually lock back in after those 6 months, that's fine. Like, chalk it up as a loss, chalk it up as a learning experience and get better, right? The person who's going to eventually get out of this business or not work out, or they're going to stay stagnant forever, is the person that doesn't choose to get better after being stagnant for 6 months, right? You can have issues, you can make all these excuses, like, I'm not mad at you, you know what you should be doing, but you're choosing not to do it, right? The only person that's being hurt, if you look at this selfishly, is just yourself, right? When really, like, you're giving up on your future self, the person you knew 2 years ago. You're giving up on what you could have in 10 years. Like, there's so much that's not in the picture right now, that if you don't lock back in or you don't go back and, like, reevaluate, you'll never get better. Like, you'll never get to the point where you have an agency. You'll never get to the point where you're going to actually start having more freedom instead of having to bust your ass on the phones for 10, 12, 14 hours a day, right? Like, eventually, you're going to want more than just sitting on the phone and fucking dialing, right? I'm going to be honest, you can make insane money, great money dialing and selling to clients, but at the end of the day, it's like, you don't want to do that forever, right? I don't think anyone really does, right? But if you don't start putting in effort now and keep that fire for the next 3, 4, or 5 years, it's not going to happen in 1 or 2. It's going to happen in 5, 6, or 7. But as long as you're, I'm trying not to curse as much on these calls, but as long as you're the motherfucker to do it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it takes you 8 years, because you still did it, right? There's people who did it in 3 or 4, but who cares? You did it in 7 or 8, but who knows the other thousands of people that never did it, right? In 20 years, they're going to wish that they never gave up, right? This business can ruin you. This business can ruin you, okay? Because if you've been here for a year or 2 years and you understand the vision, you've made 10, 15 grand a month, it'll be very, very hard to leave and go do something else, right? Even 8 months in the business when I wasn't making any profit, I was making 8 grand a month, 10 grand a month, which would take usually people 4 or 5 years working a normal job to even get to that point. Even though I was profiting maybe 0 or net 0, dude, I would never have went and done anything else. Because I'm like, I can't go back to making 5, 6 grand and someone telling me what the fuck to do, right? So this business will ruin you, but it's like, this business is gonna give you the expectation, like, I can build a business, but then, dude, if you don't, now you're in a business that has so much potential, but you're not giving yourself the opportunity to do it, right? So keeping your fire, keeping your why, creating a new why. Your why doesn't have to stay the same. Whys change as you go, okay? All right, 2 more. Number 9 is tracking your metrics. This is really, really important, especially if you're relatively, not even new, if you've been here for a while, you're selling, like, you should be tracking your life, you should be tracking your dials, you should be tracking all of your metrics in your day-to-day life, especially when it comes to dials, presentations, people answering. Like, Jalan is the fucking best person I've ever met at doing this. I've never done this, right? And I've learned this from him. It's like, he posted something in the syndicate chat today where, like, he probably pulled all his metrics from the John Wetmore thing, put it in chat, and had it laid all out, which is awesome, right? Well, it showed all the people from putting in effort, the people who are putting in lackluster effort, and people putting in no effort, right? But at the end of the day, the people putting in no effort or lackluster effort, they might be working, but they're not tracking their metrics at the end of the day, so you can't see it, right? Well, let's say those people in the middle that are trying to get to the next level where all the people are on the top, and you want to wonder why you're not getting to that point. You ask someone for help, or, hey, why am I not, like, in the top 10 on the team? Well, let's go look at your metrics. Let's go look, like, the only way I can help you is if I can see what's wrong or where you're missing, and then you go and show them you have half of your numbers tracked. No, you're not going to be able to help you. You're not going to be able to see what your dials or presentation ratio is. You're not going to see what your presentations to sale ratio is, right? People have left the business recently who have got into a shit ton of presentations, a ton of them, but couldn't sell a fucking laydown. Could not sell anything, right? But they lacked the process and strategy of getting better. They might have been tracking their numbers, but then when they needed help, they went and looked at the numbers. Hey, we knew, your upline knew that it was a presentation problem, but you chose to never get better, right? So tracking your metrics is one thing, but like having the intuition to get better after is huge. So everything is a recipe, literally. It's like cooking. You're trying to make a cake without fucking eggs or sugar. It's gonna taste like shit. Your business is gonna be shit if you leave stuff out. That's all 10 of these things. You leave 2 or 3 of it out, the rest of it's ruins. Okay? Alright, the last thing is probably the most important. I've already touched on it. I have a star by this on mine. Giving up too soon. Giving up too soon. This goes back to not just yourself, right? This goes to most people coming in this business have a really strong why. It should not just be money. Am I cutting out? Can you guys hear me? I'm gonna wait. You guys hear me? You good now? Hello? Yeah? Okay. Giving up too soon is like it's going back to the graveyard thing, right? Your 20s now, let's just say you're 70, right? And you gave up on this 2 years in, less than 2 years in, and you gave up. Let me go back. If you're in the business for 2 or plus years and you're making no money, you should quit. Be honest, like, dude, you should not do this. If you've been in the business for 2 years and you're not making anything, you should quit. 100%, right? You shouldn't stay in this business if it's not working after 2 years. You should not, okay? I don't think you should give up before 2 years, though. Okay, but giving up too soon, it's like you have a goal, you have a why, you have people who rely on you. A lot of you guys are in your young 20s, right? And you're still living with your parents, which I think is great. Live with your parents as long as possible. As long as it's a good household and it's not toxic, I think you should live with your parents as long as possible, right? Stack up bread as long as you can, okay? But if you come into this business, you have a really strong why, whether it's your future family, which is a lot of people's why. It's like time freedom, financial freedom for your future family is a huge why for a lot of people. That was mine when I first came in, right? If you give up, who else are you giving up on? You're giving up on that person 5 and 10 years down the road when you have a family, you have 3 or 4 kids. Dude, I could not imagine having, like right now, like where I'm at, my wife is 7 months pregnant, and I have a little over a year and a half old, right? 19-month-old. Well, if I gave up 3 years ago, when I would come home crying from in-home appointments, and this shit was sucked, and I gave up, I'd be looking back like, fuck, man, I should have stayed with it, right? I could have been this person. I could have been that person for my family, right? I could be able to take time off and be home in the mornings and do a Zoom call in my backyard while my daughter's right here in her toy truck driving around, while my wife's drinking coffee, right? But if I gave up, I would be back to waking up at 6 a.m. to go work for some other motherfucker, telling me what to do, getting home at 7 or 8, not having a life with my family to provide for them, because let's say I still want my wife to be a stay-at-home wife, which probably is a goal for a lot of people, right? Especially nowadays. Well, dude, you gotta make bread, dude. Shit's expensive, right? Well, if you leave this business and this opportunity to go and work let's just say, like, if I wasn't here, I'd probably be in blue collar, right? Because that's just kind of how I am even to this day. Like, I would probably be a tradesman, right? I'd be in some kind of trade. Dude, I'd be working 12, 14 hours. I'd probably be having to travel to other states, other places for weeks. The job would be putting me up for hotels. Like, dude, I would never see my family, right? I would come home late. I'd be so goddamn tired I wouldn't even be able to, dude, and then my back would be probably broken by the time I'm 40. Like, I'd be so crippled, too. You know what I mean? Like, I've worked hard jobs. I've worked blue-collar welding jobs and shit like, dude, that shit sucks. Like, could not imagine doing that shit for 30, 40, 50 years. I couldn't imagine it, right? But if I gave up on myself 2 years into the business, 20 years from then, I'd be like, God damn it, Jared was right. Shouldn't have gave up. I should have gave it the full 2 years. Because, dude, at the end of the day, a lot of you guys are in your mid to low 20s, even 30s. Dude, you have time, right? If you're working something else and this shit didn't work after 2 years, bro, go back and do what you were doing before, and you're gonna find another job, okay? And at least after those 2 years, if it didn't work out, you have so much more personal confidence. You should understand how to talk to people. You would have learned so much in those 2 years, right? The biggest thing is just not giving up too soon. Okay, too soon is the biggest thing, because have you guys ever seen it's like a meme picture, right? Of like there's two guys, there's one, they're mining, right? And there's just dirt, but then at the end there's diamonds, right? And that one guy was just one swing away to get into the diamonds before he quit, right? And the other guy is mining, right? But he's only halfway there, but he's still going. Don't be that guy that gives up right before this shit gets sweet, okay? The biggest thing is, dude, everybody says it, even on stage. If you guys have never been to a convention or Ignite or conference or anything, you definitely need to go to the next one. But this business is like a get-rich-for-sure business. You can learn it. I think is it frozen? Again? Good? Put some thumbs up if you guys hear me. Yeah? Okay. It's like, you guys should for sure, like, dude, like anyone can learn how to sell. It's not like something that's like naturally gifted, like being an athlete, right? You can learn the psychology of tonality. You can learn the psychology of selling. You can learn how people's brain works. You can learn mannerism. Like, you can learn all this stuff, but if you just choose not to learn it, you're never going to do it, right? Everybody came in this business for a specific reason. Replace your income, whatever your reason is. It's like, you have to give yourself every opportunity of doing it, okay? Giving up too soon. Yeah, I mean, another point on that I put is realistic timeline. You know, giving yourself a realistic amount of time to get this figured out, right? People give up after 3 to 6 months, right? Like, dude, that's nowhere close to enough time. Like, you're a grasshopper at 3 to 6 months, man. You want to be a fucking eagle, you gotta give yourself a couple years, man. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, man. I'm at the top of the fucking food chain. But I've always thought that. Even like a month in, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be the baddest motherfucker there is to hit the insurance space, right? And there's people who have done this way bigger and better than me, a lot faster, and are younger than me, but I still think that way, right? Doesn't matter. I guarantee Jelon feels that way. He's like, another motherfucker ain't gonna beat me, right? Even though everybody under him should be working harder than him, right? It's the same thing. It's like, you guys have to continue to be putting in effort. Okay, so that's all 10. Who took notes? Show your pages. Let me see. Let's go. I like it, David. All right, guys. One more thing I want to touch on before we go is, unless you guys have questions at the end of this, but dude, we gotta be more of a team. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if people post something on social media and none of you guys are fucking commenting on it, that shit is whack, dude. That shit is so lame. Like, you guys are lame, dude, if you're not hyping up everybody else on this team. If they post a sale, dude, if you go look at, and once again, my network, I know a lot of people in this business. If I go to someone else's Discord, every single sale that someone made on that day has 4 or 5, like, little push button notifications, right? Ours has 0, maybe 1 because I'm the one who did it. Right? But at the end of the day, like, dude, you guys have to support one another. Every single person. Like, you guys might think it's the most simple thing ever, putting a fire emoji or a bomb or like freaking whatever stupid emoji you want to put on someone's post. Dude, like, that helps that person emotionally a ton, right? To know that, like, this is a team, right? But if the only person hyping them up is literally their upline, bro, that shit's lame. Like, of course that's going to be their supporter. You know what I mean? But, like, if Josh sells something, I should be, like, I'm putting fire emojis on it. I'm putting a bomb. I'm putting dynamite. I'm putting a freaking squash on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody should be putting something. Like, every post should have comments from us. Everybody should be posting. If someone posts something about the business, you should be commenting. Even if it's a fire emoji, kind of lame, but you should post at least a fire emoji or say something, right? Everybody, right? So I want to see more interaction as a team on everybody in here, okay? everybody should follow each other. Everybody should hype up each other. Everybody should keep each other accountable. Whether you're, I don't know what the word is, but like, if you're not gaining anything from that person, doesn't matter, right? You helping somebody else is going to help them in the business, especially if they're brand new. Someone gets their first sale, there should be 20 emoji icons on the sale, right? Someone posts some huge sale, there should be a bunch of freaking notifications on it. Someone's posting something on IG, should be posting it, comment, right? It's only going to help them. It's going to give them engagement. It's going to give them reassurance. It's going to help them, right? The other thing I want to go over is how do I say this? I got this from Andy Frisella, right? And it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And I'm going to use this as an example because it's true. If you're walking by something and it's in your own house, if it's in the office, if it's in your car, if it's like maybe not on a dirty ass street, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, maybe. You guys got me now?
You cut up.
Okay. But like what I'm saying is how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So if you're walking in your own house, your mommy should not be having to fucking clean up after you. Okay? No one should be having to clean up after you. No one, like, it doesn't matter if it's your mess or not. Be the person that, like, you walk by something, you see trash on it, you pick it up, you throw it away. If you motherfuckers in the office, if the fucking toilet paper's out, you should fucking replace that shit whether you did it or not. Right? Like, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because if you are lazy, you pass up one thing, it's going to allow you to be just complacent. It's going to allow you to think that it's okay that, hey, someone else is going to pick it up. Right? But that's going to lead to even worse outcomes. Right? You leave a little piece of trash, like, no one's going to see that. Right? Shit, but like in my head, if I walk past something and it's not, I'm like, even if I pick something up and dude, most of the time I'm picking up someone else's shit, someone else's trash, someone else's something, right? I walk past, I pick it up because if I did it, I'm like, fuck, man, like I think it's okay that there's trash on the thing, right? Even though like if I'm the one paying for that area or not, like the office, like obviously I'm gonna take a little bit more pride in that. My house, like all of a sudden, I don't think my wife should pick up after me. Just because she is a stay-at-home wife doesn't make it okay that she has to pick up after me. That's fucking stupid, right? So how you do one thing is literally how you do everything, right? Andy Frisella, multi-billionaire, 100,000 square foot buildings that he has, and they're spotless, and he has no cleaner. He's never had a cleaner to clean the buildings because every single person that works for him has the same mentality of how you do one thing is how you do everything. Everything is spotless. You see something dirty, you clean it. You see some trash on the ground, you pick it up, you throw it away. Like, I'm telling you, it's not just about like being clean. It's about like the compounding effect in life. If you see something is wrong, you fix it. You see something that needs to be done, you fix it. It's like it's gonna lead to bigger and better things. I promise you. You might think it's just picking up someone else's trash, but really it's like something going wrong with your car. You're gonna lead to think, oh, it's okay if I leave it. Then it's going to lead to 20 other things going wrong. Now you got to replace all this shit. Whether if you would have just fixed that one little thing, it would have. The same thing with your business, right? It's like it leads to bigger things. I promise you. That's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I mean, I turned 28 this weekend, so I took a lot of self-reflection. I feel like I needed to do this for you guys. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Like, engage more, unmute your mic, get some questions.
I appreciate all that stuff, bro. That hit hard.
Thank you, Gary.